Daily Double Podcast back here to recap the 2025 Haskell Invitational. Remember, I think they still call it that, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
The Haskell Stakes, the Haskell Invitational this weekend. Mile and an eighth on the dirt. We have a great field I don't know, we have the most competitive field, but we have some challenges for the man, the myth, the legend, journalism, who is making his comeback. So here we go. Let's start with this before we get into the field. Is this, if you were McCarthy, is this where you would have placed journalism?
I would say definitely yes. And here's what I would say. If you take journalism out of this race, I think you have a ho-hum race.
Yeah.
Because you and I could talk about Gosker and goal-oriented as
Burnham Square.
Burnham Square. Those would be your kind of like, that would be the race. Would that garner much attention and much like, whoa, I got to see this? But when journalist comes into it, we love our champions.
Mm-hmm.
We know that journalism could beat these horses when he's been right. Have these other horses shown any ability to improve? We don't really know, but it's hard to think that in the space of a month that these horses are going to beat journalism. You agree?
Definitely agree. If there was a horse, let's go through the field real quick here. We have the number one, Bracket Buster, Victoria Oliver, ridden by Johnny V. We have Journalism, McCarthy and Rispoli, Wild and Crazy Knight, Dan Ward, Isaac Castillo, Burnham Square, Ian Wilkes, ridden by Brian Hernandez Jr., National Law, Jorge Duarte, written by Irad Ortiz, Gosker, Brendan Walsh, written by Luis Saez, Kentucky Outlaw, Felisa Dunn, written by Florent Giroux, and finally, goal-oriented, Bob Baffert, ridden by Flavian Pratt. So that's the field here. Horse that feel like could take a step forward, for me, is Gosker. He hasn't done a ton wrong. He has run, I have it here, he's run this 4 times this year. He won 2 in a row. He ran at Gulfstream Park at a mile, and he won maiden special weight. Then he goes into the Lexington Grade 3 at a mile and 1/16th and wins. And then he goes into the Preakness, where you'll remember journalism had a little bit of a trouble trip, a lot of bit of a trouble trip, and Gosker got out and starts kicking away, and everyone thought just for a second maybe he would hold on. That day at Pimlico, mile and 3/16ths. What do we get this weekend? We get a mile and an eighth, and we get a racetrack at Monmouth Park that really plays well into speed horses. Is there a world where you think not Gosker beat journalism, because that's a little lofty, but is there a world where you think Gosker gets the lead and takes another step forward this weekend?
I haven't seen his current workouts, but with goal-oriented in the race, you know they're going to send goal-oriented. I don't think this is an easy lead for Gosker. I think that this race probably has a legitimate pace. And if it's a legitimate pace with these two horses as the primary speed, coming, I think journalism's, he's going to wait till the turn, and then he's going to run down the stretch and pass them by 2.5 lengths. That's what I would think. And the question would be like, who holds on? Who holds on, Or does Burnham Square make a little bit of move to pass one of the speed horses? I think it's probably going to finish those, What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know why I have a feeling Gosker runs a big race this weekend. If I had to bet this weekend, I'd go straight. I would go journalism first, Gosker second, Burnham Square third. I'd bet that straight trifecta. I would bet a big exacta, journalism, Gosker. I wouldn't overthink it. I don't think there's a world where Gosker beats him. I think there's probably a 5% chance he wins. But I like the straight exacta journalism, Gosker. They ran 1-2 already. And a lot of times you get these horses coming in, for instance, like a Burnham Square, who people are going to go, oh, you know what? This horse ran well. He's won a grade 1. He ran well at Keeneland. He can take step forward. He can, but we've seen Gosker run well now in the past month or so against journalism, only lose the race by a little bit. I think this is one of those races where afterwards, if we don't bet the exacta journalism Gosker straight, we go like, That made a little bit too much sense. I feel like we should have had that. What do you think?
I think it's possible. I don't like necessarily that he had the outside post and he was in a really nice position in the Preakness
Mm-hmm.
where Louis could wait and see what was going on with Clever Power, who turned out to be not very good,
Yep.
lost in the Ohio Derby or somewhere. And ultimately, um, he dominated from the outside. Now you have goal oriented getting the outside. So now Flavian is outside of him, is outside of Gosker. So the if these two go at it at some point in time, I mean, if this is a speed horse race with these two potentials, I don't know. Uh, uh, I think I would see. I'm thinking maybe more journalism in Burnham Square second if these two go at each other. If these two go at each other.
Now he did this goal oriented did run in the Preakness, so Gosker has already ran in a race where he had to maneuver and understand that there was speed that was going to be competitive and
Right.
find a way to beat him here. I don't even know what it was, but it's definitely open lengths. It's got to be 6.
Yeah, no, he beat him, but I'm just looking at the trips.
Right.
I just think the trip changes because why would Bobby ship this horse back here? I mean, did he has what's? I'd like to see what's changed with goal oriented for
Right.
Bobby Baffert to ship this horse here.
Right.
You
Yep.
know,
Yeah, it's a good
I
point and
mean,
it's a
he's
good question.
outside. Has there been an equipment change? What's the strategy? Did they want him to bust the gate and go right to the front?
Yep,
Because
possible.
remember, Clever Power beat the gate that day.
Sure.
And
Yes.
goal oriented, because Bobby Baffert said after the race when they talked to him, he says, we wanted to go. We wanted to be closer up.
Sure. It just didn't materialize.
My guess is he's going to want to be closer up on Saturday. That's my guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Take nothing away from the physical reality of what we saw with Gosker running a game second.
Ran
I'm
well.
just wondering if this thing is a different setup. That's just my concern.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Journalism's in the race. Why do you think he chose the Haskell? Why is the Haskell the spot for journalism right now if you're the owner trainer?
I would say, think of the 3-year-old races in the country right now.
Yeah.
If you don't think you can handle sovereignty in the Jim Dandy and in the Travers, this race is it $1 million?
It is. It's $1 million.
It's $1 million.
Million.
So you've got $1 million race, and you're running against horses that you beat after you almost fell down. You know? And so ultimately, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? That's why I'm just curious because you and I know the horse. I want to see him.
Yeah.
I want to see. All I want to do is see him have some bounce on the track and that beautiful coat of his, and then I'll say it's legit. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I mean, that's what I would think. And I don't know. You know what? I haven't played that many races from Monmouth, even though you and I went a few weeks ago. Ultimately, I wouldn't say that it's a huge bias on the front end. I think it's a fairly. I mean, it's probably a fair strip. You know what I mean? I mean, I've seen some horses rally from 5-6 lengths off to win. You know.
Yeah, I feel as though it's speed favoring, but maybe that's because I don't know. I still probably lean more towards a speed favoring track. You know, where it's like certain tracks like a Churchill Downs where you go like, yeah, somebody can make a move.
Yeah.
Monmouth Park maybe because their turns are very rounded and it's not a super long stretch. I don't know. There could be some interpretation there.
Yeah, there could. And look, we haven't really followed Monmouth that close. Only run a couple days a week.
Yeah.
It's not like we followed him all that close. But it would be curious. The thing that would probably be smart to do is watch a few races on Friday from Monmouth to see how if the track is playing that way at all.
Right.
Because the only way he could lose journalism is if it is a highway and somebody just runs faster early, you know?
Yeah. If you go back to Daily Double Pod where we recapped the Belmont Stakes, you will hear then, and I feel like we called this exact. We said, okay, no more journalism sovereignty head to head at Saratoga. Don't do it. Go to the Haskell, make your money. It's a track that favors, if not speed, being close to. And then after that, go to the Pacific Classic. and run, and then after you get those 2 wins under your belt, see what Sovereignty does or don't. Worry about him either way, and then land yourself at the Breeders' Cup. I feel like that's the path we gave him.
Yeah, yeah, and that does make sense. How about this path? How about if he comes back strong and breezes and wins this race easily, and Sovereignty comes back and runs a little dull, maybe victory in the Jim Dandy. Maybe you try him again. I don't know. I mean,
In the Travers?
well, if depending upon what happens in the next month in each one of those races. What if this horse does improve and is coming into form more, and the other horse is tailing off a little bit? I mean, the Travers is the summer derby. You know what I mean? I mean, ultimately, Mike McCarthy, he's a competitor. I don't think he's going to do it, but let's see what happens on Saturday.
Yeah. I guess my only counterpoint is you've seen the matchup now at 2 different distances at 2 different tracks, and there's so much money to be won. With if Journalism's as good as I really think that he is, I think he'll win the Haskell, and I think he'll go to the Pacific and win that as well, even against the older
Yeah,
horses.
he could. I don't think there's that many great.
And that
older
that horse
horses.
is that's at least $1 million race to Pacific Classic. It could be ballpark in
Yeah.
there, but it's a nice race. Where Jim Dandy, I feel like is 400K, and then Travers is only maybe like 600K. I don't feel
No,
like
Travers is Mill.
is it a million?
Oh yeah, Travers is Mill.
I think we got to look that
Take a
up.
look.
You might
No,
be right.
Travers is Mill. It might be more. Might be a mill 250. I think it's a mill.
Let's check it out. But yeah, that's my thoughts here. I feel like we called it. We called it pretty well. Let's see if I can get this
I
information.
mean, we said that. Remember, we had said.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. 1.25 million.
Yeah, I thought it was 1.25.
Maybe the Jim Dandy is less. Let me find out.
Jim
About that.
Dandy's like 600,000, I think. Take a look.
Yeah, let's check out the Jim Dandy as well. Jim Dandy, I have the info here.
I think it's 600,000. I don't know why. That's what I'm getting in my
I
mind.
don't know why I was thinking 400. Let's see.
It probably was 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's 500K this year.
Okay,
so
500.
we split the
Right.
difference.
We
Yeah.
split.
So
But,
go ahead.
But we did say, if he feels good, the Haskell makes the most sense.
It does.
I mean, it was practical.
It was.
It was practical.
I mean, we saw American Pharaoh do it and run extremely
Yeah.
well. We've seen horses that have his sort of running style and disposition kick butt at the Travers, or geez, ladies, at the Travers, at the Haskell. So I don't see a world where he loses this race. I think if you get 3 to 5 on him in this race, you need to just start digging money up out of the piggy bank because it's just free. It's free coin.
Yeah, and only because, like you're saying, because it's a different track he's never run at. I think 3 to 5. I don't think he can go off less than 3 to 5. I mean, these other horses could take a little bit of money,
Yeah.
but 3 to 5 makes sense.
Yeah, three. I think 3 to 5's where he comes in. I mean, you could see 2 to 5 just because he's just so damn good. But Gosker is my second choice.
I'm just not sure
Yeah,
what happens on the speed line. That's one of the reasons why I'm not leaning yet, because I don't know. I don't know how the race unfolds exactly.
right.
I just don't know what Bobby's done with goal oriented in the last month and a half. Maybe for him to ship goal oriented out here, maybe he's got him a little bit more fine tuned.
Yeah, I mean, I think he runs a better race.
He can run a dull race.
Yeah, for sure. He'll run better than he ran in the Preakness. I don't think he would push him here this soon if that wasn't going to be the case, knowing what we know about this horse and his connections. But yeah, I'm going right now. If I have $100 to bet on the race right now, I'm betting a $75 straight journalism Gosker and a $25 journalism Burnham Square to cover my butt. That's how I'm spending $100 on the race.
That sounds good. That sounds good. I'd like to see what happens with the odds and whatnot, and get a look and see who's developed. But right now, I couldn't completely commit to it. I don't want to. I don't know who I'm going to use until I see how this unfolds.
What do you what
But
see what unfold? See how they look and all that, you mean?
see,
Or what?
not only how they look, how the track's playing, how I think, instinctively think this race is gonna come around too.
Okay. Just want to see here if they had any insight on sovereignty. I was trying to figure out today. Looks like that he's working now, and things are looking good, pointing towards the Jim Dandy. So, kind of figured that we'll have to see who else goes in the Jim Dandy. I'm gonna look up real quick here and see if there are some probable
Yeah, take a
entries,
look. Take a look. See if there's anybody we know.
because I think Jim Dandy ends up coming up a little bit like the Haskell, where it's a little bit more of a formality type race. So. Maybe not. So we have Sovereignty, Baeza, Sandman, Hill Road, Moplex, McAfee, and Stars and Stripes as
Ooh.
probables right now. So from that field, it looks like Stars and Stripes just broke Maiden. We have McAfee coming off a third place finish in the Ohio Derby. We have Moplex coming off winning the Ohio
Excellent.
Derby.
Yeah.
Hill Road coming off of a fourth in the Belmont, Sandman coming off of a third in the Preakness, and then Baeza, we should all know, but in case you weren't paying attention, Baeza coming off of a third place finish in the Belmont Stakes behind our Journalism and then Sovereignty. Never really threatened to win the race and never really felt like he was even going to pick up Journalism in that iteration, whereas in the Kentucky Derby he almost did get him. I just think Sovereignty is too solid for Baeza. They just don't match up well. But could someone like Moplex in his big race in Ohio Derby, that's a horse that could take another step forward and be dangerous.
Moplex is interesting because he had a slew of real good sprints that I played him in last year.
Mm-hmm.
There was no necessary, I couldn't really come up with an indicator that this horse was going to stretch out. They took a long time to stretch him out, but we saw him take off. Now, the question we have to ask is, we saw him run away from that real cheap horse, that $2,500 horse that you and I like Chunk of Life or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. That horse only cost 2,500. When he made the move at the top of the lane, I thought he was a winner and he was going to run Moplex down. Moplex gunned and went away. The good thing
Chunk
about
of
this
gold. Chunk of gold.
chunk of gold, the good thing about Moplex is this race don't have much speed.
Right.
Baeza off, Hill Road off. Most of these horses are going to be coming off. McAfee can
McAfee.
stalk.
Yeah.
McAfee can stalk.
Stars and Stripes a little bit unproven
Yeah,
to
so
determine.
there's not a ton of speed here.
Hill Road.
Who's on McAfee? Is it listed?
Doesn't say right now. Trained by Richie Dutro.
You know what? I think it wasn't. I think it might have been.
I can give it to you. Who rode him last time?
I don't know if it was Eric Cancel or Manny Franco. I'm not sure who went to ride him.
Interesting. It doesn't say.
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say.
But it wasn't. Jose Lascano. It was somebody. It might have been Lascano.
Yeah, something like
It
that.
might have been something like that.
Torpedo
what-
Anna's half brother. I don't. Maybe I should have known that. Did you know that
Who is?
McAfee is Torpedo Anna's half brother?
No, I didn't know that.
That's in the comments, so we won't take it as word, but it's possible.
Well, you know what? The thing with McAfee is, ran a game race, but Moplex ran away from him.
Yeah, he did. He did. He definitely did.
So yeah, I mean, Moplex seems to be, and Moplex has run well at Saratoga Racecourse.
Right.
It's a state bred horse. The
Right.
horse is, but it's got that Uncle Mo breeding, and you know what? I mean, especially if we had like any kind of wet seal track, gee whiz.
Could get funky. I mean, if you're Junior Alvarado on Sovereignty, though, you feel like you're gonna run a Belmont-esque race style where you're gonna break. You've ran at the track now, over the track. You're gonna stay closer than usual, and then around the turn you're gonna go.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
No.
It feels.
This is the best horse. This is the best 3-year-old in the country. There's no doubt about it. But as far as underneath goes, I mean, it seems like Moplex is coming into it the best.
Yeah.
And gets the speed line.
Yeah. Agreed. So that's the Haskell this weekend. That's a brief touch on the Jim Dandy. And let's see, when is the Jim Dandy this year exactly? Do you know the date?
Of July.
July 26th. So we have, it's next weekend.
It is.
Yeah, next weekend. So we have back-to-back weekends. Haskell right into Jim Dandy, which is interesting too, because I remember the Haskell being the first weekend of August a few years in a row, because that's when we went and saw American Pharoah run. So now it's pushed up a little
Well,
bit.
that's good. It gives them more time to space out it. And even the Haskell, look at the Haskell. Wasn't the Haskell sometimes like very end of July or the very beginning of August?
Yeah, it was. That's
And
what I'm
now
saying.
this is July 19th. So they're trying to space these things out.
Yeah,
So that look, if you want to run him, say he runs a big Haskell journalism,
yep,
and you wanted to run him in the trackers, you gotta over a month
sure, and you can
if you
return.
wanted to, you know what I mean? But I agree with you. I don't think that's going to happen. But you never know. I mean, if sovereignty was, if you watch the races, if journalism runs a big race and sovereignty maybe just is a little bit off, maybe if you're Mike McCarthy, you go, who knows? Maybe the tide's turning a little bit.
Sure,
I don't think it will. I
it's
thought sovereignty's
possible
the
though.
best.
It's possible though.
We've seen form reversals in horse
Sure,
racing
sure,
all our lives.
yeah.
You know.
The only thing that's tough is I feel like a form reversal sometimes is like an easy go or Sunday silence where like the races are somewhat close. Like they ran and neither race was all too close. I feel like it would have to be almost
Yeah.
like a form cycle of like, okay, since the last time he had some time off, this is his fourth race, so he automatically runs like a 92, and you're like, okay, he didn't run well.
He pulled away from him both
Yeah,
times.
he
He
did.
definitely pulled
He
away
did.
from him both
And
times.
journalism is going to run.
If you told me one of those was a head or even half a length,
Right.
I'd go like, that's not a lot. But this looked to me like I think Sovereignty's the best horse in the country.
Yeah, me
I think he'll
too.
beat older horses too, probably.
I can't wait for
Yeah.
that. I can't wait for the Breeders' Cup and to see how these two sovereignty journalism, sovereignlism, how they compete against the older horses. I think it's going to be fantastic to see, and I think they're a special, special crop. But we'll see. We have horses like Fierceness, and we have a few older horses that have done a little bit of damage and said, like, hey, you young horses need to pump the brakes a little bit. Like, we're still here and ready to compete at the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
know what? Well, we saw Locke run a bad race. He didn't develop. And who ended up winning that race when Locke got beat? Wait a minute, let me think.
That's the horse.
Oh, that was the great finish. That was when the great finish. Phineas Fogg wins the race.
Oh, that's
With
right.
Carmouche, the Suburban. And who comes running? I think it was a Fletcher horse. I forgot the name. Starts with an A. Antiquarian. I think it was Antiquarian comes running and just misses Phineas Fogg. And I was joking with Carmouche the other day. I said, "Is your horse going to run into Whitney?" He laughed because the horses are obviously ready for that level. But who the heck knows?
Yeah,
I've seen cheap horses, not cheap, but but I've seen horses who are a little bit lower level catch four and sometimes win big races.
true. True.
It does happen.
Yeah. Well, that was our preview of the Haskell. Going to be a fun weekend of racing. The following weekend, we'll be back to preview the Jim Dandy and recap the Haskell, hopefully with some fun stuff. We have an episode dropping soon where we recap our opening weekend trip at Saratoga, and we talk about some great performances on the weekend. We talk about some bad weather and a whole lot of fun in between. Anything else you want to add here before we wrap up?
No, I
For the
think.
weekend or any fun thoughts?
Well, you know what? I would just say we got the CC Oaks
Yes,
with is that the one with Raging? No, Raging Sea's running in the Chuvy on Sunday.
Chuvy Sunday.
Raging
Yep.
Raging Sea likes Saratoga, and I think he should go off the favorite in that race. And I think the CC Oaks. Who did you and I say was?
I can give you who's
What do
running.
we got in the CC Oaks?
Immersive, Sweet Seraphim,
Oh, okay.
Scottish Lassie, Take Charge,
All
My
right.
Lady.
Here's the interesting thing about this race. We saw La Cara win at like a nice price, 7-1 wire field.
Yes.
La Cara's thrown in some good races. Won at Tampa. Marquez looking for his 4,000th winner. This horse is good, but Immersive, that was only his first race back. This is his second race back. He's probably going to improve. Who's riding Immersive? Does it have it?
Manny Franco.
All right, so Manny's going to be on. Immersive will improve if he engages La Cara. Maybe Carmouche can win with Take Charge, My Lady. They They
Won the Monomoy.
and I mean the other horses don't. I don't really see how any of the other horses have any.
I don't think so. Sweet Seraphim, I feel like is a notch below. And Dry Powder similarly.
Yeah, I mean, so ultimately, what do we got? We got Lacara and Immersive pretty much getting into it with Take Charge My Lady stalking and
Attacking.
going for the
Yeah.
win. I mean, it's
kind of
pretty
fun.
cut and dry. Right now, it seems pretty cut and dry.
Me too. I lean towards Lacara. I just feel like, again, she's going to get a great position. And if for some reason she gets out there on the lead by herself, she's a danger.
She definitely is. I don't know if her fractions are fast enough to. Is that the post position right there?
Yes, it is.
Well, Immersive gets the rail. I mean, you know what they're going to do. They're going to send.
Right.
So if they can send and cause Lacara trouble, I saw Lacara lose maybe one or two times. It's usually when the horse is dueled. If she's clear,
Right.
the horse is dangerous, and then at that point in time, anything can happen. But maybe Carmouche could pull out
a sneaky one.
Win another stakes race.
And just so everyone knows here, we're referencing the Coaching Club American Oaks.
Yeah, grade 1.
Grade 1, mile and an eighth on the dirt.
What's the purse?
This weekend. Let me get you that. I feel like we looked it up. I feel like it was 600K.
Something like that.
Let's see where this is here. I think it is 600. Let's see what they say. It is, survey says, 500,000.
Okay.
Grade 1.
500,000. And you said the Shoe V, I think, was 200.
Yeah, Shoe V 200,000. So some great racing this weekend at Saratoga. I'm going to be backing Lacara this weekend with Mr. Dylan Davis, I believe. Yes, Mr. Dylan Davis. That'll be probably what I will have for one of our picks too this weekend. We got to do our picks.
I haven't looked real close at it. I'm a little partial to Take Charge of My Lady because I'm rooting for the Mooch Man, but I got to see how the fractions go. I still think Immersive will have to go after this horse early, and that might really dictate what happens in the race. Yeah. The weather's supposed to be favorable. I heard there could be some showers on Sunday in Saratoga. So that means the next 3 days will probably be favorable at Saratoga. I don't think there'll be any turf races off.
Cool.
Which is good to hear.
Yeah, that makes my heart
happy. The weather gets better next week throughout the Northeast. That's favorable. I told you at the shore, 71 to 80.
Yep.
Monday through Thursday. That's it's been muggy. I mean, let's face it. Everybody I talked to said, man, there's a hot summer. It's been very muggy,
Yeah, it has been. So don't be too harsh on your horses when they're a little sweaty. I know usually we don't love that, but I feel like everyone's a little sweaty.
You're right. You if they ain't sweating, they ain't healthy.
Yeah, because it's 92 with 100% humidity, so life goes on. But that's the Daily Double Pod where we previewed the Haskell and some fun stuff taking place this weekend. Check us out next week where we'll recap what happens in the Haskell, preview the Jim Dandy, and maybe talk about the trilogy of the Journalism versus Sovereignty. Maybe we get it at the Travers, or maybe we'll have to wait till the Breeders' Cup. Either way, Daily Double Pod here, having some fun. We have some fun stuff planned for the next month with our first guests that are not our cousins, so more info to come on that. And we'll talk to you soon. Anything you want to say here in closing?
Just take care, handicappers, stay cool, and go get them, and let's have some fun. Come on, let's have fun.
Thanks for being with us. Take care.
Nice, bud.